Hello and welcome back. So we are going to be looking at 5 tenses and how to get them at your fingertips, right? So I've drawn a timeline already to save time so that you're not watching me write everything, right? So I just thought this would be a better way to approach the video, right? So we have present tense here, which is the current frame of time, and then we have in the past 3 tenses. If you haven't checked it out already, I've recorded videos clarifying the usage of the 3 tenses, the formation, and I've also recorded another video where I give you examples for the 3 tenses in French. Okay, so we have the present, we have 3 past tenses, and we have 2 future tenses, right? So we have futur antérieur and futur simple. Okay, so I want you to look at this chart. Okay, don't get anxious looking at it. It is just meant to present it in a very concise, precise fashion, because the more concentrated the content is, the easier it is for you to remember it. Okay, so this is called a mind map tool, right? So this is what I would expect you to just write down in pencil on the side of your answer paper, right? If you're appearing for CBSE or any other board of exams, write it down, use it as a ready reckoner, right? In fact, if you start practicing with this right now, it will be so sharp in your mind that you may not even have to write it. But I would still strongly recommend write it down. Don't rely on your memory. Use your brain space for active comprehension of the new sentences and words that are given in the question paper. Don't waste your brain space on trying to retrieve what can just be written down and referred to. If you have any doubts regarding what I just shared, please post in the comments. I'll be happy to clarify, right? So we're going to look at the 6 tenses now. Present deserves an entire video, like I'll need to go down deep in it. So I'll go down into that. Each of these tenses also, depending on what you ask me in the comments, I'll be happy to share with you on a particular tense, take it and talk about utilisation, formation, right? So look at this now. Plus que parfait, AV plus PP. AV is in imparfait. How do you remember that? If you see the name itself, plus que parfait, and the formula also has the word imparfait. Okay, so remember it like that. Parfait, parfait is like a pair. Okay, so plus que parfait has AV plus PP and AV is in imparfait. Plus que parfait also means past perfect, an action that has been completely finished before another action can happen. I've already mentioned that plus que parfait and futur antérieur are like buddies. Okay, so both of them are preceding the next actions. Okay, let me explain that further. In the past, plus que parfait is past in the past. Okay, and in the future, futur antérieur is past in the future. Okay, hold on to that thought. I'll come back to that when we are touching future. Okay, right. So plus que parfait is past perfect. How do you conjugate it? AV plus PP, AV in imparfait. So AV can be either avoir or être depending on Dr. Mrs. Van der Tram, right? So we have j'avais parlé, I had spoken. J'étais arrivé, I had arrived. Okay, so I've used one avoir and one être just for us to understand. If you notice, there's also agreement here. Since I'm a lady speaking, I've written j'étais arrivé with an additional e. So depending on the subject, your participe passé will be taking on the gender and the plurality wherever être is used. Alright, so let's go to the next one, imparfait, which is also known as past continuous. Nous present, right? Nous present plus imparfait endings. What are the imparfait endings? AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, and AIENT. Okay, remember your endings well, because you have another bunch of endings coming up. Don't get confused. That's why I insist on my learners writing it down, so that you can just refer to it readily. Okay, so for now, there is only one exception in imparfait, thankfully, and that is être. Okay, for everything else you use nous present. For example, if you want to say I was talking, okay, so je parlais à ma mère, I was talking to my mom. Okay, only for être we don't use nous. We can't say somme and sommio and all that. No, so we are using the stem of et with accent. Okay, so that is the stem for être for l'imparfait. Okay, so we say j'étais jeune, when I was young, so to speak. Okay, right. So passé composé is simple past. The formula is AV plus PP. Auxiliary verb is conjugated in present. So you have one AV plus PP here, one more here, and then there's one more here. Okay, so 3 AV plus PP formulas are there. Right, Passé Composé, again you have être or avoir choice. Être is used for Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp, right? And so I've written 2 example sentences here. J'ai parlé, I spoke. Je suis descendu, I came down, right? I myself came down. I did not bring down a suitcase or a bag or something else, but I myself came down. In that case, we use je suis descendu. But if you're going to say I brought down my suitcase, then j'ai descendu ma valise. Okay, be very careful of that. The usage or the selection of être or avoir, you need to be very careful of the meaning of the sentence, right? Let's go on to future. Future antérieur, future sampler, right? Future sampler is like, as the name suggests, it's simple future. We'll finish that and then come to future antérieur, okay? So future sampler is l'infinitive plus endings, okay? And then there are exceptions. There are several exceptions for future sampler. All the exceptions, the stems end with R, okay? So words like être will be ser, faire will be faire, okay? Savoir will be saur, avoir will be or, right? So those are all exceptions in future sampler. But most of the other verbs, you follow the rule of infinitive plus endings. What are the endings? AI, AS, A, very good. Try to recollect it. ONS, EZ, ONT. Be careful, it is not ENT, it is ONT. Je parlerai, I will speak. So I'm using the whole verb infinitive. Je finirai, I will finish. Okay, and I'm adding the ending. So you take the whole verb, which is the infinitive or the natural form of the verb, and then you add these endings and you get the conjugation of future sampler, right? So what is future antérieur? What is the usage? What is the formation? We look at that. Future antérieur is, like I said, past in the future, right? So there are 2 actions happening, and both are in the future, and one of them has to compulsorily precede the second, right? So there are 2 actions. This is one and this is the other, right? So this, the action with the marker, right, has to precede this one, the second action. In that case, we use future antérieur, which means this is the past in the future. For example, I will have booked my tickets before I travel to Bombay. Okay, so both actions are happening in the future, the travel to Bombay and booking tickets, right? But before I travel to Bombay, I will have definitely booked my tickets, right? So that's when you use future antérieur, which is quite similar in terms of precedence and usage as plus que parfait, right? So I had booked my tickets before I traveled to Bombay. Okay, so if the whole sentence is occurring in the past, we use plus que parfait in one of these 2. If the whole sentence is happening in the future, where one action precedes another, then we use future antérieur, right? So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. I'll put in more videos, but I also need to hear from you. So please do like, share, subscribe, right? We run really busy schedules. We run online classes. We also teach face to face, right? So I would really need to hear from you, and I'd also like the word to spread so that the impact is more, the coverage is more, right? Because I would really like a lot of children to benefit from this, and really like this would bring out your best potential rather than, you know, memorizing pages or struggling with exercises. This would actually, I'm putting the tools for success into your hands. So I expect you to please share, subscribe it. I mean, call your friend and just tell them, hey, this thing is out. Why don't you check it out, right? So please give it your best shot so that the word will spread. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and do contact me in the comments. We run the Yellow Car Education Academy in Chennai. Thank you very much again.